keeping you from pulling off tricks you've never done before? Maybe it's visions of eating it. So how do you turn the taste of gravel into the taste of glory? PlayStation Underground got some tips from the developers and pro skaters of Grind Session on taking your ride where it's never been, both in the game and on the concrete waves.
Lately, I've been liking to jump over these roofs. I don't know why. It gets really rocky. So sometimes you're skating towards it and you hesitate and you jump off and then your foot's sliding against the rocks and the edge is coming. You're like, woo! Basically almost pissing your pants, but you make sure you don't do that. You just, oh, whew. I put 2 picnic tables down 13 stairs, and then I did a flip and then landed nose mount slide down both of them. And then the speed you gain going down was just like, whoo! You know what I mean? You just feel great. It's just the greatest feeling.
What's great about Grind Session, the pro said, is that it's like real life. It challenges you to be an artist and combine tricks in new ways each time you play.
With skateboarding, you can get creative and you can start doing things and start making your own things. It's like, your first time cooking or something, seeing if you can make some chocolate chip cookies out of Play-Doh,
The developers explain how this keeps the game fresh.
It's really cool working on this game for over 1.5 years and still being able to have fun with it. And the way that it's still fun for me is linking certain moves together. For example, so if you have a quarter pipe that's up against a wall and above it is a rail and then down the other side is another quarter pipe, people play through the game, they can just keep learning different lines, but then also ways of accomplishing those lines is different every time.
When you're with a pro skater, they see the world in a very different way than you or I see it. We call it sort of like the skater's eye, and you can sort of pause and look around the world and you'll see there'll be these challenges throughout the track. And it gives us a chance to sort of say, like, this is what we think is like a really, hard thing to do. Why don't you go see if you can try it? By far the most challenging tech line at Burnside is the one that sort of involves this tranny here to here and then up into these rafters. You can see the red line there. The way to get it is to line yourself up on these trannies, trying to give yourself as much momentum to your left here as possible to carry you over the rails. Here we go. A little balance, balance. Jump off. Survive. Yes.
That's one of the hardest moves in the game. Is there any way to shorten the learning curve for new moves?
A lot of times, it's just the way you're thinking about the trick. And if someone maybe explains it a little different way, it suddenly clicks in your head a little bit and you try it a little bit different way and it works. I mean, that's how it works for me anyway, just trying it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
If you think you've mastered Grind Session or other skating games, designer Zach Crafting threw out this final challenge.
If you can manage to get every key for every track, which is getting 40 respect for each track, you can unlock all the doors in the dream house and get to every room. Each room contains a token. You get all the tokens for the whole dream house, you unlock a character that has every single trick in the game. But the payoff is amazing, because then to have every trick in the game
that everybody knows.
Your point totals are just going to go through the roof.
Whether you're skating on the street or the screen, everyone we talk to seems to say that reaching a new level of performance is just a state of mind if you're willing to work for it. It's a free world. Skate it.